Everybody, welcome. Rise and Fire Friday. My name is Chris Exusion. You can find me at Chris Ebom on Twitter. We're all looking to bet something this weekend. Thank you for watching on Twitter, YouTube. I appreciate subscribe, all that good stuff. We got bets coming in this weekend and a big NFL weekend, Saturday football, along with Sunday as well. Hey guys, if you're into the DFS world in general, Jock Market is the place to be. It's DFS stock market. It's a lot of fun. IPO sessions, bidding on your favorite sports players. Absolutely love it. Use the code EBOM1. You get 100% sign up bonus up to $100. You put $20 in, you get 20. You put in 80, you get 80, 100, all that good stuff. It helps me out a lot. So if you guys want to support the brand, I appreciate that. And it's a lot of fun, man. It's a great sweat. You don't lose all your money in one shot, which is the beautiful thing. So you don't have to worry about going broke on it, which is awesome. But hey, I got a guest on here. His name's Phil Stifle, Beard Knowledge, and he's always great talk as always. Phil, man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Merry Christmas to you and your family there, Chris.
Hey, absolutely, man. Merry Christmas as well, man. We're into the holiday weekend, man. I know in your industry, in the restaurant industry, I know there's really no days away from the industry, man. So I hope you find a day to get away a little bit.
Oh, Christmas will be our first day off since Thanksgiving. So, we're just looking for a good, quiet day off, watch some football, watch some basketball, and, relax a little bit.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Well deserved, man. That industry is a tough industry for sure. But hey, man, we're getting into an industry now, the betting sports market, NFL betting. We got a big card this weekend, of course. The full slate is out there, but we got a lot of Saturday games, a couple Sunday games, a Monday night game. We got a lot on our plate here. Am I right?
Absolutely. And, I really think this week's a very beatable week. There's no games that stand that. Well, there's a few games, but there's a few like key obvious matchups with Eagles, Cowboys, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of games that are very beatable. People do have to pay attention to the weather factor, especially the Saturday games. By Sunday, the weather will start turning more positive. But really, really focus in to the people out there. If you're not listening to our pick specifically, if you want to make your own decision, really pay close attention to the weather. Because I screwed up Thursday night football because I forgot. I was rushing my bets in for Thursday night football. Wasn't thinking of the weather in New York on Thursday night. And the only thing I missed was the over-under on the Thursday night football game.
Yeah, I hear you. That happens once in a while. You're looking at something, and then there's something right there for you at the end of the day and everything. So it's kind of tough to catch everything at once. But I wanted to get into a Saturday game that I was actually looking at. This Saturday, 4:05 Eastern Standard Time, Washington and San Francisco. The line has dropped down to 6.5. The over/under has also dropped as well to 37.5. I originally locked this in on BetStamp at 7.5. I really like Washington here. I don't think it's a really popular play, if you will. Everyone knows how good San Francisco's defense is for the most part, but Washington's defense is right there as well. And I think it's going to be a low scoring kind of game. If you're getting a touchdown or more, I think that's good. I honestly think 6.5 is going to be good here. Purdy, I get, has had a nice little start for the most part. But San Francisco has been absolutely on fire. The last 5 games, they've covered the spread and won outright. It's like they can't do any harm. The public absolutely loves this kind of situation. We're like, man, do we just go against San Francisco? They're world beaters. And now they got Purdy. He's playing well and everything. And Washington's coming off back-to-back against the spread losses. But their defense is solid, too. I mean, they're in the top 12 in rushing yards allowed, passing yards allowed, total yards, points scored. I mean, the defense is playing well. If there is something I give Ron Rivera credit for, which I don't give him a lot of credit for, but his defense is get. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, in my opinion, when he was with Carolina, I think Cam Newton was kind of a world beater, and I think you or I could have coached that team and got to the Super Bowl. But the defense is playing absolutely fantastic, and he's always been a guy on the defensive side. I'm there on Washington 7.5. I still think 6.5 is good. I think Washington keeps this a lot closer than people think. What are you thinking over here?
Well, this is one of the few games I was kind of a lot of what you said about Washington is why I'm kind of concerned with this game. And I've been pretty adamant on all my shows that I don't buy the Brock Purdy hype train. He had one, in my opinion, he started 3 games now. I think he's only had one actual, in my opinion, really good game. Last week, he honestly, at least eye test wise, he threw some really bad passes. San Francisco is all about defense, and we all know that. That over under right now, DraftKings, what's it got? 37.5 right now. I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm even looking at the under in that game. I would not touch the 6.5. I wouldn't be confident in betting Washington, but also I wouldn't be confident. I was just looking at alternate spreads and trying to find a number. It's like minus 110 at 6.5, like going to maybe plus 7.5 instead for Washington or something like that, just to give yourself a little bit of leeway. I would just be really scared because we don't know who Washington. At this point, it's hard to say that, but we don't know who Washington still is at this point.
No, I totally get that. But, I think it's a good thing to side with such a big spread is that Washington is one of the slowest teams in the NFL. And if the game is close, they are going to kill clock. And I feel like that is kind of important. They're 30th in the entire NFL and, plays, per game with like time possession. With just being neutral on just in general, not being with like having a high lead or a low lead, like being down, like when everything is like just being neutral and we're just taking all the intangibles out, they're a slow moving team. We know they like to run the ball with Robinson. He's been absolutely good for them. And we know that the 49ers defense is good on the run game. And that's kind of the thing that's pushing people off of Washington. But I think when you're getting that many points and Heinicke can make some things happen. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but he's not a dud either. So I think that's just way too many points. And the fact that everyone's betting the 49ers right now, if I'm looking at the betting percentages, which I always do like looking at, you're almost getting 65% of the public betting on San Fran, and that number's going down. So I think they're kind of begging you to take San Fran at a higher number, even though they keep dropping it for you. That's just my personal opinion when it comes to reading the line, but that's kind of where I'm at with this game.
Yeah, I like I said, it's a good game. The over/under entices me so much more than the points in this one. Yeah, I mean, we want to see. I think as Eagles fans, because we're in the Philadelphia market, this game's a really important game just to watch as a fan. And sometimes, I don't know if you ever do this, if you ever actually avoid a game because you don't want the pressure of hitting your bet. And I want to know if San Francisco is really the biggest challenge for Philly, Washington, or division rival. I don't know. I'm staying away from this game, except for I did include this game. Can I actually sidetrack you?
No, absolutely. Go on, man. Do your thing.
I feel like I've been betting football for a long time, even before it was legal. When I was 18, I had a bookie.
And me too. I was the same way too. Yep.
Yeah. So I just learned about 5 weeks ago about the monster teaser option. The 13-point teaser. Did you even know that existed?
Oh, the super teaser.
The super monster teaser where they give you an extra 13 points.
Yeah, you got to lay like 140 or something, right?
Yeah, you have to pick 4 games.
4 games. It's 4 games, yeah.
It's only 4 games, and you get 13 extra points. I do have this game. I have San Francisco, and I took the extra 13 points. I didn't realize this, but I'm a $10, $20 a game better.
Sure, okay.
I've been dropping now for 6 weeks straight, 100 on the super monster teaser because it's easy money.
You've been cash in with the 13 points?
I have not missed a single one yet.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
It's like 6 or 7 weeks in a row dropping it. It's minus 140, $100, and I had San Francisco at plus. It was plus 6.5, so I think I got it.
So what do you bet 140? You win 100 to win like 60 or something.
100 wins you an extra $71.
So give or take. Yeah.
I'm pulling it up right now on my screen.
Here. Are there any books that have that, or is it just
it's DraftKings?
Oh, DraftKings gives you that kind of deal with the teasers. I don't do teasers often. I mean, don't get me wrong. Teasers are kind of like a tough play to have for the most part because they usually draw you in, but 13 points is pretty tempting. I'm not going to lie.
It's the first thing I want. The first one I wanted to pick this week was that San Fran game because you get 13 points. I got the 49ers at plus 6.5 now.
Oh, so you went the opposite way. You didn't go.
Yeah, I went the opposite way on it.
Oh, you didn't go 49ers. You didn't go like 20.5 with Washington.
No. I didn't. No. I didn't go that way. I went with the San Fran.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I dig it. No, I would love that 20.5 with Washington because I don't think there might not be that many points scored.
I am that confident in the monster teaser now that this week I'm rolling with 2 of them, $200 monster teasers.
Okay,
That's
well,
how big I'm
I'll
into
tell you what. I'll tell you what. So you put that into your play. Let's kind of transition there because I like that. What's that other team you're throwing in there with that super teaser?
All right, so we did the 49ers one.
Yeah,
So
you
I've
flipped
got
flipped
another
the
one.
script with the 49ers. So what are we
So
doing
all right,
next?
let's put that because we're unsure on that. Here's the one that I'm really in love with. I've got a Chiefs plus 3.5 over the Seahawks, the Lions plus 10.5 over the Panthers, the Vikings plus 9.5 over the Giants, and the Ravens plus 5.5 over the Falcons. It's minus 140. 100 pays 171.42, and
Yeah.
that's using that super monster teaser right there.
So you have Detroit. What's the Detroit? What do you have Detroit at against
Plus
Minnesota?
10.5.
Plus 10.5.
Detroit and Minnesota plus 9.5.
Is Detroit at home, right, or no?
Detroit is on the road, but it's Carolina. Carolina,
Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking of Minnesota. They played Minnesota last week, right?
yeah. Well, Minnesota
Okay.
played the Colts last week with the big comeback on Thursday night.
Right. Yeah. The big like 37-point
Okay.
comeback or something
Yeah.
insane. All right, I dig it, man. Hey, whatever
I didn't even
wins,
know these things.
I'm all about winners.
I always knew the 6-point teaser was like the thing, or the 7-point teaser, and I never liked them. I found this 13.
I'm not a big fan of 6, 7 point teaser. Never have
I
been.
think it's a trap. I think it's a trap to lose money. But a 13-point teaser, you can't lose, in my opinion, when you're getting an extra 13
Yes.
points.
No, I hear you. It seems easy. No, I get it. But it's funny because we're talking about it, and like I would so be on the 20.5 with Washington, and you haven't flipped on it. I'm gonna be curious. I have extra close attention because I'm just kind of curious to see if like I think they're gonna cover the spread anyway. But like if they get blown up by more than 20 points, like I'll be like, Phil was totally on it, and I'm all for it. So it is what it is. Hey, what's the next game, like individual game that you're looking at?
So I don't know if you want to talk Eagles yet or not, but
no, we can talk birds. We can talk birds.
there's another game that I'm really, really intrigued with.
Okay.
And it's the Chargers Colts Monday Night Football game.
Okay. I was looking at this game too. Not one of my plays, but I want to see where you're going with this.
All right. So, well, first and foremost, I mean, the Chargers are right now on DraftKings 4-point favorites in this game. It's Monday Night Football. It's Indy in a dome, so we don't have to worry about the weather. And I'm always worried about weather when I'm betting. The game, see, I don't have the against the spread numbers that you do and like specific stats. I go on feel,
No, that's
on
cool.
trends of the
Perfect.
teams and stuff like
you
that. Nick Foles is starting for the Colts. When was the last time?
Hey, you look behind me? Hey, do you look behind me?
I know everybody loves Nick Foles. I know everybody loves him. I know. But Nick Foles hasn't thrown a football in a competitive game in a long time.
It's funny. He said he said that during his like when people were interviewing him, everyone, all the media people were on top of him, talking to him. He's like, I haven't honestly had to throw to a first string guy the whole season. He's been I'm doing practice squad stuff, so I get where you're coming from. But go on.
And on top of that Vikings Colts game last week, the Colts, in my opinion, the Colts are done. I mean, I think the Colts are packed it in. They got blown up by the Cowboys a few weeks ago, giving up a 33-0 lead. That team is off on Jeff Saturday. The players, I don't think, care. The Chargers, on the other hand, are fighting for their playoff lives. Their standings. I'm trying to pull up the standings real quick here. Obviously they can't win the division, but they don't have a playoff berth locked up right now. They're looking for respect. Not only do I not, or I love the -4. If you want to take the Chargers -4 at -115, great. I'm actually looking at some of these alternate spreads on this game. I think this is close to a double-digit win for the Chargers, and I'm really confident. I'm looking at -8.5, -9.5 is -9.5 is plus 183.
Okay.
I'm looking at that. I think the Chargers win this game by 10 points easily.
So I like where you're going with that because I don't think if the Chargers are going to win this game, I think it's going to be by double digits. I kind of agree with you there. I think it's either blowout or Nick Foles does something crazy and he wins a close game. Like I think it's one or the other. Like I don't think Chargers win a close game. Like if you look at what they have done of late, like I'm going to look at what they have done of late. Let me see here. So they've won a couple games close, but it's just I don't know. This just seems like a weird game. Like the line's really low for this game, especially with Nick Foles not playing.
The only thing that's gonna go against me is it seems like in any sport, whenever I have publicly bashed somebody, the next game they go off. And I have recently publicly bashed Justin Herbert. So I'm also banking on the jinx
boy.
of my own jinx that Justin Herbert, the last time I bashed Joel Embiid, he went off for 59 points. Every single player I call out has a career game after I do it. And I called out Justin Herbert in the last week. So I'm expecting a career game from Justin Herbert this week.
No, I hear you. Well, we won't get into Sixers too much because I have a lot to talk about that, and that's kind of you're pushing buttons on me. But
I think the Chargers, because of where they are and who they are and the respect they're trying to earn and get that playoff seat. Look, I am so over the Colts. I would have, if you told me the line was 7.5, 8.5, I'd be all over it. That's why I'm looking to jump up the alternate spread there to get some better than even money on this game.
I think it's smart because I don't see them winning a close game here. They've won plenty of close games already, and I don't know. I think the Colts, at the end of the day, Moss is going to be handed the ball a bunch because Chargers run defense absolutely stinks. So, I mean, you're either going to get a situation where Foles is going to have to do too much and he's going to make mistakes because, it's not within the scheme of the offense.
You got to take your love of Nick Foles out of the equation. Nick Foles probably almost retired this year.
I agree with you there, but I'm just saying that, I just don't feel like if Chargers are going to win this game, they're not going to win it close. It's going to be either a blowout or they're going to lose some squeaker out of nowhere where just Moss runs wild. But I mean, I'm right there with you. I kind of like the under, honestly, in this game. I'm personally not playing it, but I see it at 45.5. I think Saturday's going to want to establish the run game because, especially with Nick Foles, who hasn't played in a while, I'm intrigued to watch it just as a fan. But I think they're going. He's going to.
I'm okay with the under there too. I can easily see this game being a 21-10.
No, that's honestly, I think that's kind of the score it's going to be. I'm right there with you. I think it's going to be
not only that justifies and that pushes my bet the minus 8.5 at 170.
Because they win that game by 11 anyway.
So. Exactly. So I mean, I always look for games when I'm picking the individual games. I always put out 3 locks of the week, and the Chargers -4 would be one of my 3 locks this week.
Right.
But when I look at it, I'm thinking to myself, what games would I be willing to put extra points on the line?
Right.
And like I said, I'm willing to put extra points on the line. I wouldn't necessarily, but I would. So if that makes sense, I know it's kind of a crazy.
No, I know it definitely does make sense. There's a method to the madness, and I totally understand that. There's a lot of stuff. Everyone has a way of looking at games. I totally understand that. If I'm just looking at the betting public in general over here, almost 60% is taking the over here. As far as I see on covers, but then I'm also seeing things on Pickett where everyone's taking the under. So I don't know where the fuck we're at with the money for the most part.
If you're gonna go over under, I would agree with the under. But yeah, I'm taking the points all day in that game.
Yeah. I think that 21-10 is kind of a pretty good estimate at what we're looking at here. So I'm kind of in that same ballpark as well. I'm going a little contrarian over here for Sunday, 1 p.m. game. One of the Sunday games here, Green Bay at Miami. The line is currently 3.5. The over-under is 50. I'm actually playing the under in this game. I really like the under in this game. And hear me out. Green Bay, a run-established team, dink and dunk passes. Aaron Rodgers, very smart quarterback. LaFleur, he is a very good coach, regardless of what people think. They're going to want to run the ball, kill the clock. They understand what's going on. They want to give Miami the least amount of possessions possible. The line's actually dropping down now, even with majority of people taking the over. If you're looking at some books right now, I believe you see some at 49.5, 49. Let me see what I am looking at right now real quick. Let me see what we got here while I'm looking here. Let's see. That's for Saturday. Okay, here we go. So I am currently looking at a bunch of 49s, 45s right now with pretty much everyone and their mother taking the over in this game. I think you have to look at what Green Bay's plan is at the end of the day. It's tough to score over 50 points in the NFL nowadays with how sloppy these offenses are, and especially how slow Green Bay is with their possessions. I take that more into consideration than Miami being very fast. I think Aaron Rodgers is veteran enough to understand what they need to do to win this game. I love the under here. It's probably my favorite play of the week. Give me
Wow.
the under 50 points.
Yeah, I mean, I for some reason I knew you were going to bring this game up, because it's a game that it's a game like I just don't get Miami. I mean, Tua was playing at an MVP level this year. I know he got banged up, and even outside the concussions, he got banged up.
Sure.
But there have been a few games lately where Tua, and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle just haven't been on the same page. And Green Bay, for as bad as they've been, I mean, they've been still in the hunt for their playoff lives. So
Right.
I don't know. Like the under to me makes so much sense in this game, but am I insane to think that just Green Bay covering or Green Bay the money line is a strong bet here? Because I just don't trust Miami as a team. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, they are a live dog. I mean, Green Bay technically, let's look at where they're at right now. So if I'm looking at standings right now, they're currently 6-8. They might have an outside chance of possibly making the playoffs. It's really looking slim to none.
Yeah.
I mean, they are going to play tough this game. They still have Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day. I mean, he is going whether this is going to be his last season or not, who knows? He might get shipped off somewhere, maybe just retires, just had enough of it, like who knows what's going through his head. But they are playing tough till the end of the season, and the run game is there, the play action games there with the dink and dunks. And honestly, if you look at a couple games where they've been at with the over-unders on the 50, they played the Chargers. They were 17-23 recently with an over-under of 54. I think it's kind of a thing where the Chargers established the run as well. I think the blueprint's out there on Miami. Give them less possession. It's like the same thing with the Eagles. So like when they lost that game against Washington, what did Washington do? They limited them with their possessions, which nobody's been able to do because we've been able to get after the quarterback, and that changes everything. But if you're not able to get after the quarterback, you got to limit possessions. And Green Bay, I don't have the stats in front of me per se with them getting after the quarterback, but they're going to want to control this tempo. And if they're going to control it, I'll take the team that goes slow against the fast team when it comes to over-unders, because they can go as fast as they want. But you know what? That slow time still tick to tick to tick. That's going to kill the clock. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think they're a smart enough team. I like the under 50 over there. What do you like as well?
Other game wise or in this one?
No, anything. If you have a game, if you like something in this game, you can talk about. But
this game. I mean, that's all. Like I said, I'm still stuck on the whole who is Tua and who is the Dolphins. So it's a game that straight up I'm not betting. I'm not putting my locks. I know I sound like a homer when I say this, but the Philadelphia Eagles, man, as soon as the news broke on Monday that Jalen Hurts might not play, I knew the lines and the numbers were going to get all out of control. And call me crazy, call me a homer, I don't care. When it got to plus 180 money line, I dropped it and locked it in instantly. It's come down to 175, 170. It's gone a little bit up and down since then. I know the line's at 4.5 now. It's been as high as 6. It keeps bouncing around a little bit. Everybody's writing the Eagles off because of Gardner Minshew. They still have A.J. Brown, one of the top 5 wide receivers in football. They got the number 1 offensive line that all 5 of made the Pro Bowl or alternates. They got a top 3 defense in football. Dak Prescott's been turning the ball over at insanely high level for a guy his caliber this year. The Eagles create a lot of turnovers. Like, I don't even just think the Eagles cover the 4.5. I think the Eagles win this game outright, and I could not wait to lock that bet in at plus 180 for the money line there in that game. And to me, it's again, I'm not trying to sound homerish because I never bet with my biased, Eagles opinions. I think it's like literally a lock of the week that the money line is a great value. I'm not saying it's going to necessarily hit, but getting the Eagles and that level of a team at plus money on the money line, it's the greatest value you can find on the board this week.
No, I mean, the Eagles are definitely a live dog this week. I don't doubt that one bit. I think the Dallas defense has been kind of an issue of late, the last few games, like Houston, Jacksonville, giving up tons of points. I think Minshew will be more than capable this week. I will double dip with you this game. So I like Dallas Goedert anytime touchdown. I don't know what it is this week. Let me see it. Let me look real quick since we're on here. I should have probably had it kind of prepared.
I got it up. Dallas Goedert anytime touchdown.
Yeah, anytime touchdown. Give me what he is anytime touchdown.
245 plus 245.
Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna hammer that. So Minshew's one of his favorite targets, if you look at him previously playing, is Dallas Goedert. He's finally coming back. And as we know, the tight end is like the best safety blanket of all quarterbacks, and especially a backup quarterback. So they're gonna have a hard time guarding him. What are you gonna get, Van Der Esch on him? Like that's gonna be silly nonsense. If it's +2 something after this show, no joke, I might actually put a stupid, really high bet on it. I'm not gonna say what it is, and I'm not a huge bettor myself, but like this might be like a huge tick for Saturday.
Question, do you bet the same game parlays?
No, not really. I really don't.
I try to stay away from straight up and the anytime touchdowns in my parlays because I kind of feel like it's such a crapshoot in any game. I think if you're gonna bet him straight up as an anytime touchdown, great. But I heavily recommend people not putting anytime touchdowns in same game parlays.
No, I get it because like it's hard to win one bet, right? In one game, especially in one game, right? So like if you like a side and then you want to parlay with other games, then so be it. I can totally understand. But if you want to hit like 2, 3, 4 things in one game, like that's really hard to do. Like, I mean, it's hard enough to win.
I have a lot of success with my same game parlays on the Eagles. I've hit quite a few of them, but every single one I miss is because I include that anytime touchdown in the.
So what do you include when it comes down to same game parlays for the Eagles? Like what kind of formula do you work with?
As we were getting set to go on the air, I built one. So I have 2 for the Eagles this week.
Okay, let me hear them out. I want to hear them.
So the one I've got is your guy Sean Brace over at Fox the Gambler. I'm running with the whatever he's calling it, bracing for winning or whatever. He's got a deal with DraftKings and he puts his own up on the board.
Okay.
And he gets one on there. And it's Dallas Goedert over 45 yards receiving, Miles Sanders over 79.5 yards, and the Eagles over 2.5 total touchdowns. And it's a plus 750.
Wow. That's all?
That's all it is. It's plus 750. But I got a boost. I got it at plus 900. And so Goddard 45 yards, Sanders 80 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and you hit it.
So I want to bring up Miles Sanders. Let me see what he's done of late because, like, as someone that watched the Eagles, hold on, let me see. All right, that's some nonsense. I want to know what he's done of late because, like, the Eagles, they always like throw different people in and out because we know like Miles Sanders is the guy, right? Yeah. But the issue with the Eagles is they don't always go back to the workhorse. They always switch it up. They might throw a Scott out there. They might throw anybody else out there for the most part. So I'm just curious what has he done of late? I don't think his numbers have been good as late. Am I wrong or? Oh shit! I'm missing you here. Hold on. Yeah. Losing, yeah.
Oh, there. I'm sorry. Did you lose me there for a second?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was on me. Was it on you?
No, I bumped my mute button by mistake.
Oh, geez, I was looking everywhere.
No, I bumped my mute button. That was a mistake. What did you catch my numbers on?
No, I didn't at all. That's the thing because I thought it was on my end because I've been on the wrong end. So go on. What were you saying?
I forget what I said. 8 or 9 of the 14 games, he's hit that number.
Okay.
So
what has he done recently? That's what I want to
know. It was 42 yards last week, which for some random reason they didn't run him. 144, 24, and 143. They were his last 4 weeks.
So the last week he didn't hit, correct?
Last week he would not have hit it. No.
All right, so they might save them for the Dallas game this week.
But also, if you think about it, last time they played with Gardner Minshew as the starter, he ran 24 times for over 100 yards.
Oh, beautiful. I love that stat. That's a great stat.
They gave him the ball. He ran the ball a lot. They actually gave him, and so it was 24, 25 rushes for him and another 14 rushes for Kenneth Gainwell. So they ran the ball almost 40 times between their top two running backs last year when Gardner Minshew started. So
okay, I think we got to ride the I got Miles Sanders train. I think he's a great spot, especially him being low, kind of used last week. I think this is a good spot for him. I think they looked at this Bears game and they're just like, all right, let's just save him for Dallas. And you know how Sirianni's like, Mr. Like, we got to beat Dallas every week, like he's gung ho about his, he's Mr. Philadelphia now. So we got to, So I think this is a great spot for him. I think he kind of feeds the beast, like we're going to get him going. So I kind of like that. So I like the fact that you have both of those guys with the overs, Goddard and him. I think that's decent. Well, then what was the third part? Them just winning or?
No, 2.5 touchdowns.
Total. 2.5 touchdowns. So
that's actually the most underrated aspect of a same game parlay. Instead of picking who's going to score the touchdown, bet over a half, over 1.5, over 2.5, over 3.5. If you have a confident feeling in a final score of a game, you just bet the over under on total touchdowns.
This is where I want to get with you with this because you had some success with the same game parlays. Rather than taking a guy to score, you're taking the over under on touchdowns, and I think that's smart at the end of the day because I think if you have an idea what the script is. And you think there are going to be touchdowns scored, you do over 2.5, 3 touchdowns isn't a whole lot if you think they are going to score. So you can throw that in there. So I really like that. That's pretty sharp.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. The team props. So over 2.5 touchdowns. Why can't I find it now? My laptop is totally different than the app on my phone. I know exactly where to go on my phone for this. There it is. Game props. Maybe it's under. No, it's not under there either. I don't know why I can't find it on my laptop now. How to bet this one here? Well, okay, so Eagles are over 2.5 touchdowns is plus 105. Add it to the parlay.
Okay.
So you're getting better, just slightly better than even money, and you're not worried about whether Jalen Hurts is going to rush in for that touchdown or run a play action rollout and toss it over to the head to Dallas Goedert,
right,
or whatever it may be. Because especially with teams that have a lot of weapons, on any given Sunday, anybody's the guy getting those touchdowns. It's such a hard bet. I love the game. Figure out your game script. Bet how many touchdowns are going to be scored in the game.
No, I dig it. I do like that a lot. The next game I'm actually going to go into is. I had to close out everything because I thought I was losing you over here. Let me get over here.
That's what happens when you got fat fingers and you accidentally bump.
It's all right. It happens to the best of us. No big deal. So this is kind of a weird game. I think, a lot of people don't have this game on their radar. It's Sunday, 4:30, Denver at LA Rams.
I'm curious to hear why this one's on there.
What?
I'm curious on this one from you.
Okay, so I was looking at this game. It went up to 3 for Denver. Over under is 36.5. I locked this in at 2.5. I really like Denver here. I know we're getting Russell Wilson back here. You're looking at what they have done at late. Denver, they've kind of played a close game against Arizona, close against KC. If you're looking at what the Rams have done for the most part, Baker Mayfield had that one game where he kind of just won that game, and then Green Bay, reality, nothing was good there. He finally threw a pick. I really like Denver here. They've been on a really cold losing streak for the most part. They won against Arizona recently, but the wheels are off the bus. I think Russ Wilson will play well this game. Cortland Sutton is going to be out. I believe Jerry Jeudy should be playing. I think that's kind of where we're at for the scenario in general. But I don't know. I think this line's really low, and I think it's a lot of disrespect for the Denver Broncos this week. They're both 4-10. And then on top of that, Denver's defense is outstanding. They've been outstanding all this year. If you're looking at what they have been, LA's offense is one of the worst in the NFL. Denver has one of the best defenses in the NFL, third in points allowed, 18 points, fourth in total yards allowed, passing yards, just everything's great. They even take away the ball well. I think the defense wins this game for him, and I think it's enough for Russell Wilson to get a win that no one really cares about, and they're just throwing away. And I think we can gain that value with Russell Wilson. For the first time this season, we can get value with Russell Wilson. I think we're going to get here at 2.5. I have it, but 3, I still take it, man. So
I was curious where you're going because you didn't even mention the fact that, Russell going up against an old division rival as well. Like he knows this range. He knows how, Sean McVay coaches against him, and how this team plays against him. And there's a lot of those similar pieces. Aaron Donald, Ramsey, the guy, he knows how to beat this defense. And I wasn't sure on the line, though. I was looking more at the over-under because the Rams can't score. And even if Russell Wilson's at his peak, what's the max that the Broncos are going to put up? 24 points this week?
Yeah, probably give or take.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this being a 20-13 game, a 29 game, a 24-10 game, something like that.
Yeah,
I think the Broncos win this game. I think they win it pretty easily.
I think they win handily, honestly.
But I honestly think that the under could be in play just as much, if not a little bit more than the line at -3.
Yeah, I just don't know how many points the Rams are going to score, honestly. I mean,
how many times have the Broncos not put up a lot of points this year?
Yeah.
I was actually going over it with somebody the other day. I mean, you look at the Broncos, 24, 28, 9, 10, 16, 10, 21. They've only scored over like 21, 24 points a few times.
Right.
So, they've lost games 12-9, 17-16. They've won games 11-10, 16-9. They've put up some really low-scoring games this year.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I kind of feel like the Rams won't score hardly anything. And Seattle, even if they max out around 21, 24 points.
No, I hear you. It's so funny because that you're bringing that up and everything, but I'm looking at like just what the spreads are in general for this week. They're all extremely low. I mean, if you're looking at the Giants-Minnesota game, that's high because Minnesota gives up a lot of points. And I kind of had to throw Daniel Jones in my fantasy line because I have Jalen Hurts and he's, obviously not playing.
See, I went with Gardner Minshew. I'm in the playoffs and I picked up Minshew.
Oh, you're well with Gardner Minshew. You think he's going to get you enough points to seal it?
I think he'll get me with what was available. I actually the next best option was Tom Brady was available this week.
You didn't have Daniel Jones?
He was not available in the league.
Oh, okay. So I had Daniel Jones available, so I took him.
Yeah, I forget. I posted a picture of everybody that was available on my social media page a few days ago, but there were very few names. I could have gotten Zach Wilson. Obviously, it's a good thing I didn't go Zach Wilson, Tom Brady, Gardner Minshew. They were the top guys.
Yeah. Are you there?
Hear the conversation about this being a system that Jalen Hurts, and that's why he's good. But this system, this team is so. There's a reason why there's 17 Pro Bowlers. So I'm confident in Gardner Minshew this week, big time.
All right, I like it. You're really double dipping with the birds, and I can dig
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, we're going.
And trust me, I do not. So I just found it. Top guys available this week: Zach Wilson, Davis Mills, Tom Brady, Andy Dalton, and Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh yeah,
they were the top guys available outside of Gardner Minshew.
You must be in a lot of guys in your league, right?
It's a 12-man league.
Oh, that's pretty big. Okay.
Yeah, 12-man. It's only one quarterback, but there's some pretty smart guys, and it's a fairly.
Okay. You're in a nice little league. I had a lot of guys open in my league. It's a bunch of frat guys playing, so we're it's pretty soft league.
Then. Easy for you to dominate then.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Yeah, I'm the 1 seed, so we'll see what happens. So I don't falter. But hey, is there any other games that you're looking at for NFL for the week?
See, there's a game I'm looking at, but I actually almost want like advice on how I should be playing it. I've been very successful betting the Bengals this year.
Okay.
And especially as of the last like 4 to 6 weeks. I think the Bengals, I know this is like going to surprise people. I think they're the best team in the AFC again.
Okay.
I really do. But yet on the road in New England fighting for playoff, lives again, Bill Belichick, all that stuff.
Smart coach, yeah.
Yeah, he's a smart coach. He knows how to play. Right now it's at -3. I don't see how they don't cover that spread, the Cincinnati Bengals. Mm-hmm. But again, just 20 years of football knowledge tells me don't bet against Bill Belichick in December
Yeah, well,
at the end of the year. So, like,
about,
everything I know from this year is telling me that I think the Bengals win this game and win it pretty handily. But there's that one little bit of doubt that's in the creeped in the back of my head. I've never lost this year when I've bet the Bengals.
Okay.
And I feel like this might be the week that if I bet them, they might lose. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a very negative feeling, but everything's telling me to bet that game.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when I'm looking at this game, I just think under, and I think it's just the kind of a game. I'm surprised I'm just like, because I think Belichick just like slows it down and he doesn't want to give enough to Burrow and Jamar Chase and everything. I think the under 42 is a nice little play because I don't know how much offense you're going to get from the Patriots per se. It looks like our boy Mills is out. Jalen Mills is out. He looks like he's going to be out for the most part. So that's a corner that's out. But I mean, I don't know. I think the unders kind of play. Hey, have you ever, when you do the super teasers, do you ever do them with the over unders at all?
I haven't. I did it one time. I mixed it in one time, but that was it. I just get so excited about taking teams like
spread. You're like, hey, I'm getting 20 points with this team. How can I lose?
I love it when I get a team that's favored by -9 and then I get them +4 because of the super teaser. I love it. That's just how I live.
Hey, imagine taking 18 points with the Houston Texans, but then getting 29.5 points. It's just.
I mean, how can you go against that?
I know it's tough. I mean, I haven't done I can't even tell you the last time I've done the teaser, let alone like a super teaser or anything.
I'll send you a picture of my super teaser so you can ride along with me. Let me tell you.
Yeah, you send it to me later. We'll ride out with it.
I absolutely love my super teaser this week, man.
All right, we'll check that out in general. But
when you're talking to a $10 bettor, a $15 bettor that's laying 100 at a time.
I mean, that's a big bet for. I mean, I'm saying if you're normal $10, $20 bettor, you're betting 5 times your bet. I mean, that's a serious bet.
It's hit 6 or so weeks in a row for me.
Hey, man. I can't knock.
I won't lie.
I don't care what your method of madness is, but hey, winners are winners, and I love it. Before we go, there was one game I was kind of looking at for college football.
Okay.
It was kind of interesting. Middle Tennessee State, San Diego State, an easy post Hawaii Bowl. San Diego State, notoriously a good defensive team. They fired their head coach. The offensive coordinator has recently taken control of this team. The offense has been starting to click a little bit, but I'm not getting fooled by it. If I'm leaning something for the college football game this weekend, I'm leaning the under 40. Well, actually, it dropped down. Excuse me. It's actually starting to go down. It's at 47.5. I like that under. If you're feeling froggy, you want to leap, you want to kind of just get into the college football bowl scene this weekend. San Diego State can't score for shit. One of the worst offensive teams in the entire country. Their defense plays pretty solid. I think they want to slow the tempo down. I know their offense has been good of late, but I don't know how long it's going to really last. They only scored 3 points against Air Force recently, and that's a team that always holds the ball with their running option play. So I like the under 47.5 for San Diego State if you're feeling froggy. Not a huge play for me.
Here's how we could get really, really froggy, okay?
All right.
I don't know anything about this. I'm just like, I'm looking at DraftKings. I'm like, you like this? All right, I'm going to click it. I'm going to lay $10 on it and see what happens for you, But then I also had a same game parlay for the Eagles game that I didn't tell you that I was building as we were talking.
Okay, beautiful. I love it.
And it was it's a 6-pick plus 1,100 parlay. So when I added the under 47.5 in this game, it's letting me add that to the parlay. And it takes my plus 1,100 Eagles parlay to plus 2,190 by throwing in the under on the Middle Tennessee State.
All right. Well, hey, if I could sprinkle a little bit of, on your parlay, I love it.
I'm feeling really froggy on that right now.
No, I dig it. You're froggy, you're ready to leap, man. But hey, guys.
And I just hit my Sixer same game parlay for the night. So I got a little bonus money. My
oh, you're free rolling. I love it. Absolutely beautiful.
I just added a free roll for the rest of the weekend.
Oh, man, what a sweat. Can't beat that. But hey, thank you guys for watching, listening on Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff. Thanks you for subscribing. We got big things coming off for the golf season. Once Tournament of Champions starts, we're going to be full force golf moving forward at Tournament of Champions. We're going to do a little Friday live betting. after we see a couple rounds. That's kind of where I'm at with this, with the Rise and Fire bets on Fridays. But, for now, we're in football mode. We're going to keep rising and firing with that. That's Phil Stifle, Beard of Knowledge. I'm Chris Exusion at Chris Ebom on Twitter. Thank you guys again. Let's keep cashing. Some good info. Let's continue rising and firing. Thank you, Phil, for being on, my man.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.